So irrigation strategy varies depending on the stage of the life cycle of the plant. Usually in this kind of climate, we've had ample water and the water carrying capacity of the soil is at 100% at bud break. The most common scenario is for us to have complete water all the way up, usually into fruits, past flowering into fruit set. This year was a good example because we didn't have that. We only had 2.8 inches for the entire year, which was really just enough to build up the water column once. So the basic strategy is early in the season, you are trying to get enough nutrients into a very rapidly expanding plant, and so you generally don't do deficit irrigation at the first stage. Some people, to control the amount of canopy, will start to do deficit irrigation quite early, usually at about fruit set. Then they'll keep that deficit irrigation going all the way through the season. That depends on the vigor of your soil and what kind of canopy to fruit ratio you're trying to work with. So that's definitely a feasible strategy. So that's all season long deficit irrigation. Usually right after veraison is when most people start their deficit irrigation. That's assuming that you've had good canopy management, you've been able to manage that in a way that works for the ratio that you want. Because obviously it's smarter to use less water to manage your canopy than having overgrowth and having to come back and cut it. That's not only stressful for the plant, but it's wasteful for water. But if you've managed that balance and you're happy with your canopy to fruit ratio and you're happy with the amount of shading that you're getting over top of your fruit, then usually the time to start deficit irrigation is either late fruit set or early veraison. And that fruiting cycle encourages that biochemistry to move towards really complex, dense biochemistry, which is the hallmark of a good grape, which makes great wine.